Morning students. So today we have to continue with the excretory system. We have already discussed till here that defecation and exhalation is not excretory system, or this is not forming an excretory system in the previous class. So today we have to start with substances which needs to be eliminated from a body. So which are the substances which needs to be eliminated? That is carbon dioxide, that is water, that is nitrogenous metabolic waste. Metabolic, it means the chemical activities found or occurring inside a cell is known as metabolic activities, and the waste formed in this process is known as nitrogenous metabolic waste. Then excess salts and vitamins, bile pigments. So we will discuss about each one by one. So why these substances should be eliminated from a body? The substances should be eliminated from our body because these are regularly formed. For example, in your kitchen, every day food is being cooked, and when the food is being cooked every day there will be release of waste or creation of the waste. In the same manner, we have around 37.5 trillions of cells, and all these 37.5 trillions of cells is working and performing the metabolic activities, and in these metabolic activities the waste will be created. Okay, so regularly these waste are formed, and if it will be kept inside a body, it will be harmful. Okay, so if you are keeping the kitchen waste for more than 1 day, 2 days, it becomes harmful. The bacterial growth will be there, then suffocating smell will be there. So in the same manner, inside our body we have such a number of cells, and these number of cells are performing the metabolic activities, and in these metabolic activities the waste is generated, and such amount of waste we cannot store inside our body because these waste is harmful. And you know what is waste? Waste is the unwanted, useless, harmful substance. Okay, so that is why we need to remove these waste from our body. Now, the first one waste formed inside our body is carbon dioxide and water. So what is the site or the source of production? So this carbon dioxide and water is produced by the process of oxidation of glucose by the living cells. And what is oxidation of glucose? Simply that is respiration. So we can say it as the waste product of respiration. Clear? Then what is the way or the route of elimination? So this carbon dioxide is eliminated through the lungs. So all the blood cells, the red blood cells, will bring the carbon dioxide from the cells, and it will give to the alveolus. From the alveolus it will be going to the tertiary bronchiole, we have discussed in the standard 9th, then to the secondary bronchiole, then to the primary bronchiole, then to the bronchus. Okay, then from bronchus to trachea, then trachea to larynx, and from larynx to pharynx, and then from pharynx through nasal cavity it will be released out. So this is the route for the elimination of carbon dioxide and water vapor formed in the process of cellular respiration. Then extra water is released in the form of sweat. Some amount of water is released in the form of water vapor in the form of exhaled air, and some amount of extra water is released out in the form of sweat through the sweat gland and sweat pores. Okay, so in the skin we have two major regions, that is epidermis. The upper region is epidermis, lower region is dermis. So in the dermis region sweat gland is there, sweat duct is there, and on the epidermis there is sweat pore. So this is surrounded by the blood capillaries. So extra water will be coming out in the form of sweat from the sweat pores. Then nitrogenous waste, that is urea, uric acid and ammonia. What is the site of production of these waste? So the basic site of production is liver. And what in the liver? That is dead protein remains of the tissue. So please understand about it. We know that cell tissue is formed of cells, and cells is having the membranes, because we are having eukaryotic cell, and in eukaryotic cell all the cell organelles and cell is bounded by membrane, and the basic constituent of membrane is the protein and the lipid. The basic constituents of membranes are what? Proteins and lipids. So when a cell will become dead, a tissue will become dead, and when these dead cells or dead tissue, it will be having protein in it. So by the decomposition, or by the, you can say, decomposition only, this protein is coming to the liver, and after the digestion or the decomposition of proteins, the urea and uric acid and ammonia is formed. Then amino acid as digestion product of protein is broken down to produce glucose and urea. So we are taking proteins in our diet. Proteins is digested in the form of amino acid. Okay, amino acid is again the building block of our body. And why it is the building block of our body? Because the membranes are basically constitute or made up of proteins and lipids. So this amino acid will be coming to the liver, and in the liver, as we know, liver is the housekeeping organ of our body, so it performs multiple functions. So this amino acid will be coming to the liver, and this amino acid will be broken down into glucose and urea. The glucose, many molecules of glucose will be converted into glycogen, and this glycogen will be stored inside a body as the stored form of food. And this urea generated by the deaminification of the amino acid, so this urea is also produced in the liver. And what is the way or the route of elimination? The way or the route of elimination is the kidney. Okay. Then excess salt and water soluble vitamins. So metabolic activities, and through food we get the excess salt and water soluble vitamins. What are water soluble vitamins? That is vitamin B and C. So we take it in our diet. Excess salts also sometimes we take it in our diet, or by metabolic activities these substances are produced, basically the excess salt. The way or the route of elimination is again kidney. Then water. Water we get through food and the beverages, and the way or the route of elimination, one through the kidney in the form of urine, and the another through the sweat gland. Then the bile pigments. Bile pigments is also the waste product formed inside a body. So each cell is having its own fixed lifespan. In the same manner, the RBC is also a cell, and RBCs is having a lifespan of 120 days. After this 120 days, this RBC will become dead. So as it becomes dead, what will happen? This RBC will be decomposed into two parts, that is cellular part and the pigment part. Okay, the cellular part will be given to the spleen. Okay, and that is why the spleen is known as the graveyard of RBC. Whereas the pigment part is again decomposed into two subparts. One is the heme protein, and another is the heme pigment, and the another is the globulin protein. Okay, heme is the pigment and globulin protein. Okay, so this from the heme, iron, the central atom of this pigment is iron, will be taken out, and this heme pigment will be divided into two basic pigments, that is bilirubin and biliviridin. Okay, so this is bilirubin and bilirubin and biliviridin. So basically the bile is bilirubin, produced as a breakdown product of hemoglobin of the dead RBC. So you must have understood RBC lifespan is 120 days, this dead RBC will be decomposed into two parts, pigment part and the cellular part. The cellular part will be given to the spleen. The pigment part is broken down into heme pigment and globulin protein. The heme pigment will be further broken down into two parts, that is bilirubin and biliviridin. Okay, so this bilirubin is basically released as a bile product or bile pigment. What is the way of elimination? So this bile juice is formed of this bilirubin and biliviridin is added into the duodenum through the common bile duct. So this is produced in the liver. Bilirubin and biliviridin is produced in the liver. From the liver through the common bile duct, it will be added to the duodenum, and this duodenum will add it into the through the feces, it will be released out. So this yellowish tinge of the fecal matter or the urine is due to the presence of bilirubin pigment present in it. Okay, so what is excretion now? So excretion is the process of removal of unwanted and harmful waste products from our body. Okay, excretory system. So in our human body we can broadly classify into two categories. One is the urinary system, which is basically the excretory system, and the other is accessory excretory system. Accessory, it means it is not only taking part in excretion, it is helping in the process of excretion. And in accessory excretory system we will discuss about skin, lungs and liver, and in urinary system we will basically discuss about kidneys. So this is all for today. Thank you everyone.